Hello my friends, Paul here in the RoJoBe Music Workshop, and welcome to part 3 of the Japanese Sanshin Gets a New Head. Okay, so quick recap / update. I had previously done a repair on the headstock of this Sanshin. I originally did a repair a few months back when I changed the viola tuning pegs to these larger ones, reaming out the holes for the pegs. The wood started to split, and so I repaired it by, one second, this is what happened. Started to sort of break away, so I cut these pieces out, and so these are the original repair pieces. So I cut this section out of the side of the headstock and then put these pieces in. And oh, sorry, no, that is. Oh no, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, so this was my first repair and it failed. So I did the repair again, making the side piece, the repair pieces larger and overlapping the sides, and it failed again basically. So I decided to just, stop doing that and literally cut the head off and make a new head, which is now done, it's finished. And I have to say, after having done this repair twice, I have already said that I should have just replaced the head right from the start. The first time, it needed repairs, I should have not repaired it and just replaced the head. Anyway, that's where we are now. And I've got to say, after having done the repairs twice and now having made a new head, making a new head from scratch has actually been quicker and easier than doing the repairs. Because the thing with doing those repairs, you've got to do one side at a time, so that you've still got the stability and the shape of the head itself. Allow the glue to dry, then you do the other side, allow the glue to dry, then you do all the shaping and contouring and everything else, then cut the holes for the tuning pegs, and in this case cover the whole head in veneer and wait for that to dry. It's quite a long process and it's a bit fiddly and a bit awkward. I mean, it's not, for me, it's not that difficult, but it is, it's a fairly long process, and it's actually been quicker making a completely new head from scratch than it was to do those repairs. Quicker and somewhat easier, really, because you're starting with a blank canvas and shaping it from scratch. It does take a little bit of time, but like I said, in the long run, quicker and easier to make a completely new headstock. So that just once again reiterates that that's what I should have done right from the start. And it's now all finished, and as the neck itself is in a lighter wood and the headstock in this red wood, it's quite a contrast of colour, but it does kind of match the tuning pegs. It's a similar colour, it's not the same, but it's similar, so it all looks good. And now that it's all finished, and with the my logo engraved on the headstock as well, it's all finished, all sanded, all oiled, and it looks absolutely stunning. It's much better than the original, to be honest, apart from the colour difference. But I think that kind of makes it a feature, because although originally, well, it wasn't all one piece, because we had this join here, the same as I've got now, but it effectively was all one piece, albeit two pieces. But because the headstock has a very specific and important job to do, as does the neck, but they're basically two different components of an instrument. So by making it a completely different color like that, I think it makes it a feature, because you've got the headstock, which does one job, and the neck, which does another job, and there's a very distinct difference between them. That's my opinion. You know, when I built these originally, and the shamisen still now is, you know, everything is all one color because it's from the same wood. But with hindsight, I kind of wish I'd, you know, done this originally. And on that note, this redwood, I've said in previous episodes that it was the only piece I had, or I thought it was the only piece I had, and it's really, really good wood to work with. Well, as it turns out, I have found that I have lots more of this, probably a total of about 10 meters of this wood. Excuse me. When I originally had my shop in a different unit, I had these large 2x3s, I guess, screwed to the wall in 3 different tiers, and I had the instrument wall hangers screwed to those bits of wood to hang all the instruments on. Well, I was thinking about this last night when I was trying to sleep, that maybe that wood is this redwood. I mean, it's all painted white so that it, you know, looks the same as the walls. So this morning I went in there, and I mean, it's still all attached to the walls. That's currently our music/art room. And I took a knife and just kind of shaved off a little bit of the edge where the paint is. And what did I see? Red wood. And I've got like 3 tiers of it, all about 3 or 4 probably 3 meters long. I know that one of the pieces, about 80 centimeters long, is a white wood, but the rest of it is this redwood. So as it turns out, I've got stacks of this in stock, which I'm really happy about. So I'm going to go and remove that from the walls later on, and you know, then I've got that wood in my stash for doing other things like this. I mean, if I thought about it at the time when I made these, I would have made the whole thing from this end to this end out of that red wood. But I didn't. I made it out of this, and I still like these, don't get me wrong. I mean, the colour is nice, and you know, the headstock is a different wood. But so we basically got this instrument constructed from 3 different species of wood. A generic red wood, a generic white wood, and then the bowl is this stuff, which is, it's actually made from an old trinket box. Not an old trinket box, but a decommissioned trinket box, which I sort of reconstructed into this shape. And you know, we've got some nice grain patterns going on this. I really like this. And the shamisen is similar, not exactly the same, but similar kind of thing. So, you know, we've got the 3 different species and as such colours of wood, and I really like it. So this job is now complete, actually making the headstock, and it's been a couple of days since I finished this. I left it a couple of days just to make sure all the oil that's going to sink into the wood has done so, so that it's nice and dry. And you can still smell it. Personally, I quite like the smell of boiled linseed oil. A bit strange, I know. Some people don't like it. And you know, I left it a couple of days to make sure it was all fully dry before what I'm doing today, final assembly. So before I start that, I'm just going to take my soft cloth and wipe over the whole thing again, just to remove any oil residue, although I know there isn't any, but just to be sure. So just going to rub over the whole thing just to make sure it's completely dry. I mean, it is, but you know, just in case there's any sort of little dribbles of residue anywhere, this will ensure that it's all dry. And I mean, regular viewers of mine will know that I use boiled linseed oil a lot. You know, I could have painted this and or varnished it, but I'm not into that. I personally prefer a more natural looking finish. And I think in the boiled linseed oil, which leaves you with a matte finish, I personally prefer that. I don't think it's necessarily a good idea to have instruments lacquered or varnished, especially the neck, you know, with your hand up and down the neck. If your hands get sort of warm and sweaty, then, you know, with lacquer or varnish, it can get a bit sticky. You know, with this, it's always smooth. Anyway, that's my preference. Right, so the whole thing is now wiped over. So it's now start to put the thing back together. So let me just bring the camera around. I'm going to use a bit more of a wide angle for this because I'm sort of up and down the neck, as it were. Hopefully you can still see what I'm doing pretty well. So I've got my little tub of all the bits and pieces here. So I'm just going to put the tuners and the strings to one side for now. And all I've got in here, actually I've got the old nut, which I won't be using anymore. And I've got the bridge here. And this little piece of dowel. Can you see that little piece of dowel? Right, so first thing I need to do is feed the neck back through the body. So through the bigger hole at the top, get that bridge out of the way, and then line it up so that it pokes through there. Okay, and then I need, let's just zoom in a touch. Okay, down a bit. So now I need the strings which are on the string holder / tailpiece, whatever I don't know what it's called in Japanese, but basically that with the square hole there fits over the end of the shaft there. Fairly snug but not tight, and you can see that that brings the strings just over the top of the body there. And then this piece of dowel goes in through the hole on the end of the shaft there. Actually, just turn that over. That's it. So that there goes through like that. Okay, and it holds everything in place. So that's that end. Not going to worry about the bridge just yet. But what I need to do now is put the tuning pegs in, and I've got them numbered because off camera I mean they've all got sort of different holes through them. They've got 2 or 3, sometimes 4 different holes in different locations, and you know, off camera I just, you know, sort of put them all in and to see which ones would go where, to make sure the strings are in the right position. So that's number 1, that goes in the bottom. Okay, can I zoom in a touch more? Yeah. Okay, what was that? Yeah, right, so now I need string number 1, which is the one nearest me. And I was a bit worried that because this new headstock I've made is longer, I was a bit concerned if these strings would be long enough, but they are, so that's all good. Right, so you won't really see what I'm doing just here, but I'm going to put the string through the hole nearest this side on the tuning peg. Something just flashed up on my camera. What was that? I don't know. Okay, so like I said, you can't really see what I'm doing, but I'm just putting the string through the hole in the tuning peg nearest to this side. There's 2 or 3 holes in this one in various locations. It's a bit fiddly getting the string in there. I mean, apart from anything else, this is deeper as well than the original. So I'm just going to use these little pair of pliers to hold the string to get it into the hole there, hopefully. Has that gone in? I think that's in. Let's poke it through so it comes through the other side. Okay, so that's through now, so I'll start to just wind it on a bit. Alright, until that just starts to go taut. Okay, I'm not sure how well you'll see that, but that's the first string in, goes through the hole there, and the windings go from this way towards this edge. So that goes up the taper as well. So the more you tighten that string, the more it comes towards this edge, and up the taper of the tuning peg shaft as well. So that's the first one. Okay, and number 2 is that one, goes in the middle. Okay, number 2 string. Let's see, that can go, which hole? Again, the one nearest that side. I've got 2 or 3 holes in this one. And I might need to use these pliers again to get that started through the hole. Okay, that's that. Oh, it was in, then it slipped straight back out again. I'll try it with my hands. No, it's not going to work. Can't get my fingers in there. Okay, and through the other side, just going a little bit more. Yeah, it needs to go in, poke through a little bit more. That's it. Okay, and just hold that taut but not too much, and then twist it round. Okay, that's that one. And where's number 3? There it is. Number 3 goes in the top. And can I get away with that first hole? I think I can. Right. I can always change it to the other hole later if this doesn't work out right, but I would prefer it, again, as close to that side as possible. I think in some ways nylon strings are more tricky to cope with, especially ones that have been used before, because they just spring all over the place. Alright, is that all the way through? It is. Okay, so again, just hold it. Ow. Yeah. Right, one more try. Okay, are we through? Okay, let's go in. Right, just double check. Okay, so that's all of the strings now in to the tuning pegs. I'm going to zoom back out. So now I'm going to place the bridge in, and I'm not sure if you'll see it or not, but the slots, this end is the bass string and this end is the treble string. So this one's a bit wider, this one's the narrowest, and this one in between. So this being the bass goes that side. I'm not going to worry too much about bridge placement right now. I mean, normally on these instruments, it's not normally right at the bottom there. It's kind of about 1/3 of the way up. I'm just going to push it up a little bit. So that's probably okay there for now. So now I'm ready to start tuning the instrument. So let's get my neck block, put that under there, and I want my phone with my tuning app. Let's see, tuning app there. Now, because of the style of this instrument, what kind of instrument it is. These are tuned traditionally to CFC. Right, so let's start with, I'll start with the second string to kind of keep the tension even, and we need to tune that to an F. That's a D. Okay, that's a sharp F, that's fine. Let's go to this first string now, which should be a high C. That's an E. A sharp. B sharp. B. That's very high. That's okay, I'll come back to that. It will stretch out anyway. Okay, so the low C now. It's a G. Oh, I did the wrong one. Never mind. That's D. Okay, so number one is close. I don't believe it. I do not believe that. That tuning peg has just snapped in half, or split in half. Oh dear. You couldn't make this shit up, could you? Oh my god. Why has that happened? Well, I was doing well. Yeah, that is just completely split in half. I do not effing believe that. Oh my god. I don't know if I'm going to be able to repair that. I will try. Damn it. It's always something. That's pissed me off. I don't know if I'm going to be able to repair that or not. I mean, the good thing is it's a long surface area. I'm hoping I'll be able to glue that back together. Oh dear me, it's always something. Always something. I don't know why that's happened. Honestly, I don't. Okay. Well, I guess that's the end of part 3. Because I've got to... Actually, no. Why should it be? Okay, let me take that peg out. I'll try to. It's in there pretty tight now. Let's get them thrown out of the way. Oh dear. My life. Oh. Yeah, see, I can't get it out now. Let me try just gently tapping that through. Let's get a screwdriver. Because I can't turn it, there's nothing to hold on to. I hope this doesn't damage it more. Alright. Yeah, now you can't see what I'm doing. I'm all over the place now. It's really set me back. That is such a blooming nuisance. It really is. Okay, let's see if I can just tap that through. There we go. Almost. Okay, if I can get it to turn around, there we are. God, what a bloody nuisance. That's not the kind of failure I was expecting at all. Okay, well, it is what it is, isn't it? Now it's going to be, because of the shape of it, it's going to, and the size, it's going to be difficult to clamp that with the glue. So I'm going to use one of my rubber bands. Let me just go and get that. Okay, so let's get all that out of the way now. Oh dear, ridiculous. Okay, zoom in a little bit. It's a bloody nuisance. Right, so I've got this. This span's too long, really. So I've got this short piece. Is probably 30 centimeters or 12 inches long, and obviously, you know, it stretches. So that hopefully will be what I need to clamp this together once I've got the glue on. Actually, that's strange. It does look as though where that joins together there, it looks as though there was a, I mean, that's kind of straight across there, like there was a cut on there. I mean, like I said, because we've got quite a bit of gluing surface there, technically that should be a good strong joint. I just don't know why it did that in the first place, but it does look as though there's a weak point just there. I'm not sure why. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, let's see how we go. Let's get some glue on it first. I've got no tissue left here at all, so I'm going to use this. Right, so there's a couple of little splinters up which I'll have to get glue under as well. Yeah. Honestly, I don't know how well this is going to go, but if it doesn't work, I'll just have to try and buy some more of these, which is, you know, a nuisance, but what can you do? What can you do? So first of all, I'm just getting some glue underneath those little splintered bits that are broken away. Just make sure that's coming through that crack there, which it is. Right, let's get the glue on this part. Give it a good layer of glue. I mean, I'm not really bothered about squeeze out at this stage. I just want to make sure this is a good solid joint. And the glue I'm using here, I always use Titebond Original, but because that is water soluble, I don't want this joint to break away. So I'm actually using Titebond 2, which is non-water soluble, which, you know, effectively makes it not necessarily stronger, but more resistant to, you know, heat and humidity, which could possibly soften the glue. This Titebond 2, that should not happen. Right, so kind of got it together. I'm going to sort of wipe off the excess glue first of all, so that I can see exactly where the joint is and make sure it's properly together. Yeah, it's not quite lining up right, so let's just get all that right. That looks good now. I really hope this works. So I've got a little bit popped out at the side there. Just try and persuade that back in. Is that popped out? Okay. That's got it, I think. Right, I think that's properly together. Seems good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to make sure there's no excess glue on the outside, because I don't want my rubber band sticking to it. I think we should be good there. So I've got to very carefully now wrap this rubber band around it to hold it all together. So I'm going to start at the top actually, top end, and pull it taut as I'm going around. Hopefully it'll all stay together. Okay, so I'm pulling that pretty tight as I wrap it around because I want to make sure that's really squeezed together. That's looking good actually. So once I get down to the bottom of the repair, I'll then go back up. That's actually looking pretty good. Okay, so now I'm going to go back up. I think that's going to do the job really well actually. I hope so. No reason why not. Okay, it's going to be a bit tricky to, I can't tie it off because there's nothing left. So let me think how I'm going to secure that on there, because I don't think tape will do it. Think. I guess I can just use this other band. Just keep wrapping it around, it'll be fine. Okay, so I'll just wrap this one more randomly, just to keep it all together. And then I can tie this one off. Right, there we go. So I hope that works, it should do. Sorry, 1 second. And this is exactly why I do not edit my videos. You know, anything that happens, you see it the same time I do, or you know, whenever I upload the video, but you see what I see. You experience what I do. I don't try to cover anything up. I don't try to, you know, make my videos an epic production. You know, I record what I do live, and you know, I don't edit my videos. I just upload exactly as I recorded it. So it was going pretty well. But I think what I should do before I go any further with this is just try and get the other two strings up to tension and make sure they're not going to do the same. You know, obviously because of the tension and the friction on these when you're turning them, there is quite a lot of strain on them. So I guess I'd better make sure that the other two are not going to do the same thing. So I'll kind of get those up to tension, which they're already pretty close to anyway. So I'll basically continue what I was doing. I just don't know why, but there was obviously a weak point on that tuning peg for some reason. I don't really understand what was going on there, but anyway, let's get back to the tuning app. So I want an F and a C. Okay, that's a, I don't know if you can see that actually. That's a sharp F, and then we've got a sharp C. So they're slightly higher than their actual tuning, and they seem fine. The tuning pegs, let's just bring that down a minute. And tuning pegs are not split or cracked anywhere, which they shouldn't be. That's, you know, we're still at the same stage really. I've just got to wait for the glue to dry on that other one, and I'm going to give that, you know, at least a few hours to make sure the glue is properly set. There is a good chance that it's going to be weaker and it's going to happen again, which is a nuisance. because I know when I ordered these tuning pegs before, they did take quite a while to arrive. But to be fair, this instrument has been off the shelf, as it were, for some time now anyway, a couple of months at least. So I don't suppose it matters that much. I mean, you know, there is a good chance that repair will be strong enough, because we had such a large surface area for the gluing. It should, in theory, it should be stronger than it was before. I mean, there was obviously some kind of weak point on that. Not quite sure why. To be honest, I have dropped these tuning pegs on the floor more than once. So there is a chance that it took a little crack. You know, when I dropped it the last time, it might have cracked it slightly, which I didn't notice. And then obviously as I'm cranking on it, you know, that's that weak point is the first place it's going to go. So that's quite possibly what happened. Maybe the last time I dropped it cracked and I didn't notice it, because I've never seen that happen before. I mean, obviously these are, for Westerners, these are quite unusual tuning pegs, but you know, violin tuning pegs are the same principle, but quite a bit smaller. I've never seen that happen before. So yeah, it's quite possible this wood is not the greatest wood in the world. But you know, like I said, with that surface, the big surface area for the gluing, there is a chance. There's two options here. It's either going to be stronger than it was before and therefore absolutely fine, or it's not and it won't be fine. And you know, it's not the end of the world. These things happen. I've had a few mishaps with this instrument along the way, so this is just one of many. And you know what? Once that glue, I mean, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon now. I've got another lesson today from 2 till 3. I might just leave this overnight, give it plenty of time to really set hard, because if it was just, you know, if it was just aesthetic, then I could get on with the job straight away. But this is functional. You know, this has got a job to do and it's under tension. So I'm going to wait until tomorrow to redo this. For me, for you that'll be a few days. Actually, be a bit longer. But anyway, there's no point rushing this at this stage. I've got to literally the final stage of this, and this has happened. So yeah, I'm going to leave this overnight. Make sure that joint is properly dried and set hard before I start cranking on it again. And you know, like I said, it might split open again, or it might be stronger than ever. I don't know. We will see. And you know, if it does break again, I'll just have to buy some more of these and wait for them to arrive. I'll probably get them from a different supplier. See, I mean, even pay a little bit more, make sure that the wood is a bit tougher. I mean, I could make one. I've got, you know, this red wood. I've got a piece that's almost, or it's started to cut the shape of one of these, but I'm never going to get it to match this. So I don't want an odd one on there. Like I said, I could make one and I could get it close, but it wouldn't be close enough to look the same. So, you know, if it comes to it, I'll just order some more. Okay, so yet another setback in this little project. All good fun. I'm going to, like I said, leave this overnight and then try it again and see what happens. And like I said, if it does break again, I'll buy some new ones. Simple as. Okay, so in the meantime, please look after yourselves, look after each other. We will see you soon. Peace out.